RIP to Officer Jacob Hatchard of the Myrtle Beach Police Department. This video is brought to you by TatumReport.com. TatumReport.com. Get the link in the description section. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to get notifications anytime I go live. I make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to this channel. Hit the join button so you can join the Tatum Squad. Like this video. Comment on this video. Share this video. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, with frustration, slight anger, a little bit of joy, I make this video to support and to honor the life and the legacy of Officer Jacob Hatcher. Now, when I say with excitement or with joy I present this, it's because the young brother is going on to a better place. And if you believe in God, you know what I'm talking about. But this young man, Officer Hatcher, lost his life, or Hancher lost his life in the line of duty in Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, going to a domestic violence call. We all know, all of the police officers out there watching this and everybody that know anything about policing, Officer Hancher was going to a dangerous situation. Domestic violence is the most dangerous cause and the most unpredictable cause that police officers go to anytime they're on duty. And it blows my mind that people are dumb enough to think that they can send social workers into an environment and police officers are getting killed in that similar environment. They're just creating more victims. But it's not about that. It's about Officer Hancher. Now, I want people to understand this about this particular officer, because not every police officer that put on the badge really care about the community. I'm going to be honest with you. Most do, but not everyone does. And not every police officer is dedicated to the community like it appears that Officer Hancher was. He not only was a police officer for Myrtle Beach, but before becoming a police officer, he was there for a year before he was tragically killed. But before becoming a police officer, he was a community resource officer. He was a community service officer. And it's different titles for different departments, but the gist of it is that you're essentially assisting the police department and doing dang near everything that they do, except you cannot carry a gun or go to violent calls. So he served the police department for 4 years before becoming a police officer and being a police officer for a year. I want to explain that for a minute because I think people don't understand the humility that you have to have. And after I finish explaining this about his life, we're going to write him a check. Tatum Report is going to write his family a check. And then I want you guys to support, just like we did with Sergeant Mattingly. We raised over $130,000 for Sergeant Mattingly, and we want to do the same for this officer as well, this young officer with a promising future. People need to understand that being a community officer, a community service officer, that you have to be humble. This officer knew that he could be a police officer one day, but took the necessary steps to build his resume and to build his character, to build his training so that he can be adequate and be the best police officer he could be when it was time for him to promote to that position, or not necessarily promote to that position, but to be hired in that position, which is a legitimate promotion from being a community service officer. This officer was also a volunteer firefighter. He was a volunteer firefighter. So he served the community in multi aspects. I mean, a young guy in his early 20s, putting his life on the line. So one of the people that I work with, one of our staff members, knew Jacob very closely, and I believe they went to school together. He told me, man, you need to look into this young man. I went to school with him. He was a great guy. He was an authentic individual, and he was tragically killed. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna look into this. And when I read his story and I seen that I think they only raised like $7,500 for this kid. And it bothers me. And I want to support police officers that lose their lives in the line of duty, and for us to join together and do this. You know, because they go and support these criminals 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We need to continue to support our law enforcement officers. And I pray to God that I could do this for every police officer that lose their lives in the line of duty. But when God sent me in a direction to support certain officers' families, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to finish writing this check while you're here on the video watching. I got it pre-filled out so I don't have to fill out to take up a lot of your time. I'm going to write in a dollar amount, which we're going to donate $5,000. The Tatum Report organization is going to donate $5,000 to this police officer. I'm going to sign it. I want you guys to help us raise a lot of money for Jacob. I want to be able to present this to his family in person. I want to present this to his family in person. Now, we started out with $5,000 for Sergeant Manley, and we raised over $130,000 for Sergeant Manley, and I was able to present that to him. I want to be able to go to South Carolina. I buy my own flight. I don't need nobody buying my flight. I want every dime that you guys donate to go to his family. I will pay out of my own pocket to fly down to South Carolina. I want to present one of these checks. We got a bigger check. This is just the social media check. We got a bigger check that we're going to write for his family. And I'm praying that this number goes from $5,000 to over $100,000. And I know that you guys can do it. If 100,000 people donated $1, that's over $100,000. And this is something that I think will be invaluable to this young man's family, to give them hope, to give them an availability to be resourced outside of his control. He can no longer serve. He can no longer provide for his family. And I think we should take on that mantle and support Officer Jacob Hancher. He was a great officer from the things that I've heard. The guy was a servant. He served in his church. He served as a volunteer, a firefighter. He served on the police department before becoming a certified police officer. So let's show some support to Officer Hancher, man. Let's show him some love. I'm going out to South Carolina to meet his family. If we're going to raise the money, but I'm going to present this check no matter what nobody else do. So I hope that we can come together and do that. God bless the Hancher family. Thank you for giving us such a wonderful man that lost his life doing the thing that he loved. And I guarantee you he loved doing it. To do what he's done, to get to his career, to get on the police department probably meant the world of this young man. And so we're going to support him. Comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I'll put an article to Officer Hancher's story so you can read it. God bless his family. God bless you guys in advance for the support. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Let's do it big. I'm out.